of silver
knows what
has
he's doing
plunged pretty
for a specific
significantly.
reason.
It looks
They
like
will not
around
control him.
27%.
And if he has to fire some people, let some people
From
go,
which
he's
mine?
going to.
The world's
We've already seen
largest
that. We've already seen other guys.
primary
As
silver
conflict
mine.
of interest. I'm going to go ahead and step down.
Production has plunged. So this is
Interesting,
kind of
isn't it?
odd. Zero hedge again.
And I'm going to start
Trump
with this
concerned
other.
there are too many Goldman
article
guys on his team.
It's actually from Missouri.
2 days after Democratic
.edu.
Senators Elizabeth Warren and Tammy
This is kind of
Baldwin sent a letter to
medical
Goldman
article,
CEO Lloyd Blankfein,
but it relates to
asking
silver.
if Goldman effectively
Quick little
runs
surprise.
the country. There's
to its
another
extensive
item that needs
alumni
silver links
that
may
at
be
the
coming
Trump
online full
administration.
steam ahead, and requesting
something like
details
this,
on
I could
lobbying
see
activities
where it
in
would
the
branch
bank
out
related to
as far as its
review
uses goes
of the Dodd-Frank Act and the
for
Obama
stopping
era
certain types of
fiduciary
bacterial
rule
infections
on
and things after people who have
financial
surgery, things like
advice,
that.
as well
So,
as asking for any
this is not some old
communication
article.
between the bank's employees
Story
and
contacts
Mr. Cohn,
Jeff
Newton,
Salzman
nominee
Salzman J
at
for the Security Exchange Commission
Chair Jay Clayton,
silver
and Chief
ion
Strategist
coated
Steve Bannon. Bloomberg reported
medical
overnight that
devices.
yet another Goldman banker,
Could fight
Jim
MRSA.
Donovan, was
while
under
creating
consideration
new
for the number
bone.
2 spot.
There's
at
a
the
problem
Treasury
when they have
Department.
certain types of surgeries.
However, it appears
on
he
people.
has got and
one big
you risk getting this
thing working against
MRSA, which is now I got to stop for a
or
second because
my wife's correcting me. Just call it MRSA. It's known as MRSA.
So now
MRSA, but it's
Elizabeth
MRSA,
Warren and Tammy Baldwin,
which is
have decided
methicillin-resistant
let's send a letter to CEO Lloyd Blankfein. Let me
Aureus.
send a letter to someone that I think was robbing
Staphylococcus.
banks.
Kuss.
I'm sure they are, but I don't have the proof yet.
Infections
Sir, are you
caused
robbing
by
these
a
banks?
type of staph
Maybe your people?
bacteria
Why, no, madam.
that has become
We're not doing it.
resistant
I don't know what you're talking
to
about.
the antibiotics
Okay,
used
like, what are
to
you
treat
doing?
ordinary staph infections.
You idiot. What are you
the
doing?
rise of MRSA infections
Elizabeth Warren.
is
You
limiting
idiot.
the treatment and options
Why did, where was your letter to Goldman
and Jamie Dimon,
for physicians and surgeons?
now an
Morgan.
international team of
When Obama was in
researchers led
office,
by
2008,
Elizabeth Loboa,
when he's
dean of the
his
University
claim to
of
fame
Missouri
of coming
College
in the
of
office,
Engineering,
he's going to clean up
has
Wall
used
Street. Go
silver
look at his,
ion-coated
campaign
scaffolds
promises. They're still on
or
YouTube.
biomaterials that
He
are
said
created
everything
to
right.
hold
It's
stem
why I'm not
cells,
even shocked, kind of,
which slow the
that people
spread
voted for him.
of
He
or
said it all
kill
right, but he's one of
MRSA,
those guys, like most of them,
while regenerating new
do
bone.
the opposite.
Scientists feel
we got
that
him in 2012
the
again. Another 4
biodegradable
years.
and biocompatible
Miss Warren.
scaffolds could be
Where was the letter
the first
then?
step in the fight against MRSA.
Why didn't you send a letter
patients.
then?
Now,
The
first
same
of all,
people were running
silver.
As a matter of fact, Goldman Sachs was in
long
charge
ago,
of
years
Baldwin.
ago.
And the other bite,
I had a
little
website
Twitter,
that I used to run. It was
the
a
club,
short-lived kind of a thing. It lasted
when
about
TARP
6
funds
months.
came out.
And I thought,
And then the
I can
QE1
make my
came
own
out.
colloidal
Quantitative
silver,
easing too.
bottle it
QE3,
up, and sell it
etc.
online.
Where, where was the letter?
For disclaimer for animal
No letter.
or non
Now we're just
whatever use only.
pissed off we lost, so
Whatever.
we're going to do anything we can to make a scene.
And I had a couple people
All
buy
that,
some from
one
it
thing
at the
working
time, but
against him
I started
is
realizing
the
it's
overdue
kinda not
realization
worth
by
the
the
headache,
new president that his
boxing,
cabinet
shipping, all this
openly
crap. It's just-
appears to have been
this
created
was
and
years ago.
staffed by
Nonetheless,
populism,
I made it
arch
myself.
nemesis, or arch
and
nemesis
I bought
number
2
one,
pure
Goldman
silver,
Sachs.
flat little strips.
I think you might be right. I was going to say
0.999 fine silver.
JP Morgan's a close second,
with the
though.
2
okay?
electrodes on each end.
Besides
DC
Stephen
voltage of
Mnuchin,
approximately 32, 33
Trump's
volts,
pick for Treasury
in
Secretary,
DC.
former Goldman
And
officials
you just let it
working
run.
for the new
And I had a
administration
little
include
part
former
from Millie
President
Tester, and I got
Gary
down to
Cohn,
figuring out
now director
roughly
of the
how
National
long it
Economic
needs to
Council,
run
Stephen
to
Bannon,
produce,
the
10 parts per
chief
million, 20
White House
parts per million, 30
strategist,
parts per
and
million.
Dina Powell,
I've used it here.
formerly the
One
bank's
of
head
my-
of
matter of fact,
philanthropic investment.
Today, which is
Well, who would have thought
the
they
day
had
before
such
you're
a moment?
watching this.
Who's an assistant
Going
to
to
the
the
president and senior
movies with my
counselor
kid,
for economic
daddy-daughter
initiatives.
day. For
So
every now
just
and then we
like
do that.
Goldman
One
would
of my kids
staff
out of the
every
three of them.
central bank's core positions prior to Trump,
One of the
after
other
the U.S.
ones watched them
election,
with us to the movies.
world's most influential
and see this movie, but
influential
she
investment
says, no,
bank
it's just me
has
and you,
shifted
it's
all
not
of
you.
its
And
attention
I understand
to
sometimes you just
one
need
person.
that one-on-one.
And he is
So,
finally starting to
We'll
realize
do something with the my other
that
kid.
that may
So,
not be such a good thing.
She, when she was very young, I
Too
used
many
a picture of
Goldman
her eyes, 'cause
guys
she had
already
this,
have
she
high
used
up
to get
positions in the Trump
this thing in
administration.
her eye. She had
the
had that
person
little
said.
surgery where they open up,
And that could
Like the-
knock Mr.
something in
Donovan
here,
down to one
because
of the
she'd wake up with
undersecretary
absolute
positions,
goop
possibly
in her eye,
undersecretary
like it was like
of the
blue
Treasury
shut, it
for
was
domestic
huge.
finance.
Ultimately, she ended up getting this little
The
surgery done,
presence
and she was like
Several
really little.
former Goldman officials
as in like
at the
maybe
highest
2 years
reaches
old.
of the administration
And I'm
runs
like, well,
counter to the
We've
president's
got some of my
regular
stuff.
attacks
Let's-
on Wall Street
the
firms during the
colloidal
campaign.
silver. Let's just I got
Donald
the
Trump's
eyedropper thing,
argument
just
for America.
Put it in her eye.
a
Why would she
2-minute
went to bed?
advertisement
Because she'd
that
been
ran
doing it day
in
after
prime
day. She
time
was
days
coming up
before
like
the
that every
election,
morning.
featured Goldman
I
Chief
put that in
Executive
there,
Officer
couple
Lloyd
drops,
Blankfein
whatever.
in a
And right
segment
after that, the
about
next day,
corporate
when she woke
chieftains
up,
pocketing the wealth
it
of
was
American
clear.
workers.
Her eye, and I had a before and
I'm
after
sure
picture
he
that I put on
knows,
the website. Hey,
you
this
know,
is just
hands-on
treated my kid's eye
experiment,
infection.
experience there.
You know.
Having
But
reneged
the point
on
being,
this
you can
core
drink the
populist
stuff. Now, you
angle
don't
of
go
his
crazy
campaign,
drinking. I know everyone's heard
opening
about that
himself
guy
up
who's
to
skin turned
Democratic
gray and all
attacks
that
over the
garbage.
extensive presence of Goldman bankers in his team. Now the
So
White
is
House seems
the guy
sensitive to
had
the
to pause
issue
it
and
for a
is
second.
taking it
Kids
into
over here
consideration
whispering. Guys,
as it
upstairs.
attempts
Don't stand
to
in front of me and
fall
whisper.
or
Mike
fill
might pick it up.
remaining
Just
top
upstairs
posts.
and whisper or something.
Really?
So
Donovan, whose
we all
heard this time at
guy who
Goldman
got
overlapped
his,
with
gray
Mnuchin.
skin. The guy was
Most
drinking it
recently
like
was
it
a managing
freaking,
director
like
at
an
the bank's
alcoholic.
private wealth management division and has been at Goldman
drank this
Goldman
stuff
since
before, other people have.
1993. He would be subject
Putting
to Senate confirmation
silver
of course.
ion coated stuff
At
that
Treasury,
can stay
Donovan would
biodegradable,
join the
just,
effort
kind of,
to
again,
execute
it goes inside
the
like those little
extensive
stitches,
economic
the
policy
sutures,
agenda
whatever.
that
They
the
just
new administration
biodegrade
has
inside
promised.
just fine. Same
So,
thing. The amount of silver is probably minute.
Going
I'm
back
sure.
to my last video,
But I've seen
I talked
studies
about the
years ago
1988
actually
cover
of the
that put
Economist magazine
antibiotics
up against
gold
gold, silver,
flowing
silver
around
water.
the neck of the phoenix,
And nothing
rising
could
from
stand-
ashes of burning dollars,
could hold a
paper dollars,
candle
and on the coin,
next to a cool
2018
little silver.
headline cover.
Talking bacterial
Get
stuff,
get
only,
ready
not
for a
viruses,
new, for a
bacteria.
world currency.
So
2018
this is again like a
stamped coin.
They'd wrap it or whatever in this material, and it would just slowly biodegrade over
Is
time
there a
inside
few
your body, and it's fine.
Goldman
It's
guys
no
at the
issue.
very top of the
amount of
government
silver, again, I'm
specifically
sure it's minute.
so that we can move
When
forward?
you're talking about the
with that
healthcare
plan from
industry,
30
how many
years ago.
surgeries are happening every day?
They'll be advising
and
him.
think about
tooth
this
and nail.
Right now, they're only concerned with these
on
types
how to
of
join this
specific
one
surgeries or
currency
whatever.
system. Trump has already
But
come
other
out,
doctors
as I said in the
realize
last
any
video.
type of similar surgery.
Just talked
Matter
to
of
the
fact,
Chinese
any
president,
surgery going
Japanese
forward, we're just
president.
going to use this. This stops.
We understand the issues with
basically
bacterial
fighting each other and
infections. So,
devaluation.
instead of
sending someone home with
we want to level the
antibiotics.
playing
We're just going to
field,
wrap
we've
this
agreed,
area
yada, yada.
with some of this gauze and
That
Band-Aid
being said,
or whatever.
we all have to join the same
You know,
currency
have a nice
block,
day.
so none of us
So
can
just
manipulate it,
imagine,
devalue it.
even though
And
it's
then that
tiny
will
amounts
level
and all
the
these little
playing field,
bandages,
because then it's simply who's
and we're
brokers
just
are
talking the
willing
United
to work
States
with
right
us
now.
for the same
Other countries, this could be a
value
normal
dollar.
thing.
Again,
Now,
granted,
huge demand
I'm
for
here to
silver
tell you,
in the
China would
future
still win that
potentially.
battle.
And then we have the other things to
It's
talk
no
about.
different
The
than
windscreens,
what we see in
the
America a
windshields
lot
on
of times.
cars.
Mexicans
They're
will
going to
come
start putting
across
them
the
on
border,
cars now.
usually
Because it
illegally.
has great anti-reflective capabilities.
They'll gather up in a house,
helps
and they'll
with
take the little side
defogging
jobs,
the window,
not paying very
easily
much,
in the
it's under
morning
the
or
table
whatever.
work.
Lot of stuff.
And
then we have the
they
sun
all pitch
cell
in.
from that company out of New
So
Jersey.
essentially,
They can afford.
I
I don't know how much
decent
silver it
decent
uses
size house if they
right
want
now.
to.
I
They
have
don't.
not been able to
They
find the
form some-
information on how much it uses, other
get
than it
inside of
uses
just a
silver.
normal home
and
house.
It liquefies
Nothing
it, basically
fancy.
makes it molten.
They split the bills. They
Again,
do
I don't know
everything.
how much.
But
So
nothing
you have
just stay that way forever, right? It's going to use
Let's
them.
just
Say
say
3
3 families
families
at some point. So there's all these things kind of in the works. You can see
cooking, cleaning, whatever they're doing, and all
And
the
then
men
the
are out
bad
working.
news
Is
that's a far cry.
production
from
has
what we
plunged.
normally do.
Excuse me, in
So,
America.
article from SilverSeek.com.
My house, my one family. I'm
February
the man,
9th,
head of the household in this
2017. This
case.
is
You know, I
new.
make all the money. My wife
Production
in my case.
plunged
She
at the world's largest primary
homeschools
silver
as well.
mine.
So, you know, it's a typical
The
American
largest primary
thing where
silver
the
mine
man,
in the world expected a
goes out to
huge,
work, the
woman takes care of the
experience.
kids,
Whatever, but
a
days,
huge
men and
decline
women
in its
work.
production
Point being, your
due to-
family,
due to your
and
immediate
this is the
family.
key. One
This
house,
is the big
that's
key.
it.
Falling,
which means the bills
or
are either split by the
grades.
husband and wife, or in my case, just
we
me.
used to get
I
the
didn't
or
split with
we had
nobody.
the
I
system
just had to
down.
pay
We know
them.
exactly how much it costs. Everything we're
I can't
tugging
compete,
along, so to
if you
speak,
follow
and
me.
then oops,
With a family of
the
3,
quality
all
of the mining
contributing
material
in a single
or
house, one electric bill,
starting to suck.
which I know would be higher than normal, but still not
suck to the
grossly
tune of
outrageous.
27% difference.
One internet bill, TV and internet,
The
one bill.
Cannington mine,
Water bill, again, a little
now
higher than
run
normal
by
because of the family.
South 23
maybe
LTD,
not even a little,
suffered a
bit higher
huge
than
drop
normal.
in its silver production
The rent,
during its
mortgage, whatever it is.
1H
Stays the
2017 or
3 people
is that
contribute.
1 hour? I don't know.
They could
reporting time period.
Oh, we'll just live together for several years, pay off this house. I don't know what the 1H is.
And then
One of us owns
some
it.
companies such as South
In
32
the meantime,
start their
we'll all be
fiscal
saving money so we can go
New
get our own
Year
houses
in
too.
July.
Then people start leaving
BHP,
the house,
Bulletin,
who knows?
who owned the
But
Cannington mine
the people in
since
China,
its,
because of the
startup
work
in
conditions that are allowed
1997,
over there,
spun it off to South 32 back in
there's just
2015.
how can the American
American lifestyle compete
Wonder if they did a
with
little
the
drill
sweatshop
testing and
lifestyle.
realized this turd's
You
about to
can't.
go dry.
They will
Sell
undercut
this baby
you
before anyone else
every
figures it
way
out.
you can.
Like I said, when I was building this remote
according
control
to
program,
South
I need some
32's production report, the
PHP
Cannington
programming on
mine.
the website, some scripts.
Yeah,
I don't do
by
that
the way,
kind of
the
programming.
1H is not 1 hour. It's something else.
I went online to the
report
one
of
of
some
these
type. It's
places
not
where you
freaking
can
1 hour.
have people
According to
bid
South 32's
all over the
production
world.
report,
I
the
instantly
Cannington
got
mine
replies.
saw
As
its
soon as
silver
I
production
hit
drop by
the
a
enter button to
staggering
finish it. Whoa.
27%.
India,
1H
India,
2017
India,
versus
India,
1H 2016.
India, Pakistan.
Silver production at the
US,
Cannington mine
Canada.
declined from 11.9 million ounces
And it,
1H
here's my,
2016
and it says, here's
to
what I'm willing to
8.7 million ounces
based
1H
on your description. Here's what I think I
2017.
can complete this task for you for.
Basically, these figures are comparing
India,
production from
cheap,
July
cheap,
to December
Pakistan,
2015
even cheap.
versus July
Canada,
to December 2016. I guess
Not
that's
as
cheap
cheap
as
as
those
those
guys.
guys.
America,
Again,
the latter
I'm not paying that.
reporting period is stated.
Are
as
you
the
crazy? I'm
first
not paying
half.
that.
Okay, so 1H.
Oh,
that's
that's
what
right.
they mean. 1H
The
is
American
in the first
lifestyle.
half.
That guy needs that money.
But for him to maintain his lifestyle and the quality of work he does, he needs
first
that
half
money.
of
2017.
India.
Well, I guess that's because they say they call
Another
it
sweatshop type
from
scenario
July
many
to
times.
December of 2016 for whatever
Way
reason.
cheaper.
Anyways,
They're getting American dollars.
regardless,
for the work,
this
so
is
they're
a
charging me
huge
American
drop in
dollars,
silver production, which when
from
converted to
the
their currency,
world's
they're making
largest
good money. Primary silver mine located.
How can we compete with that?
the
In
one
outback.
American that applied, the one single American that applied
Australia,
to my
mate.
little project. Here is the actual
Didn't stand a
table
chance.
from the South 32 report. As badly as I wanted to say, you know what, just for American's sake,
I'll just put that up in case
I
you
want
want
to
to hire
look at it
you.
real quick. You're so much
kinda
higher,
small,
but
like 3 times or so higher. I don't even
nonetheless,
remember now.
payable silver
I can't
production,
possibly do that.
27%, silver
that's
sales,
absurd.
26%, whatever. Bottom line, it's so not looking too
think
Smurfy, right?
We may
Not
be in for a
looking
little
Smurfalicious.
surprise in 2018, and it's called One World.
The
Currency.
reason
Get ready
for the
it.
big drop in silver production at
Donovan's
Cannington
name
was due
emerged
to the
in January as
huge
a front
decline
runner
in the silver
Undersecretary
ore
of
grade
Domestic
at
Finance,
the mine.
a key treasury position.
The average
that
silver
helps oversee
ore
the
grade fell from
13.8 trillion
266
market
grams
for
per
treasuries.
ton. Meanwhile, underscoring the coverage Trump's Goldman
198
ties are
grams
getting
per
in the
ton.
press. On Saturday,
Falling
Gary Cohn, the former
silver
silver ore
Sachs
grades
president
are
and
nothing new
CEO
for
who
Cannington,
runs economic
as it
policy
has
inside
been
the White
going
House,
on for quite some time.
and who is now in charge
The
of
world's
drafting
largest
Trump's
primary silver mine
phenomenal
once produced
tax
silver
plan,
at an average ore
got the
grade
star treatment
of 636
both the Wall Street Journal and
grams
New
per
York
ton.
Times
That's almost
published 2
not
very
quite
similar
3 times
laudatory
what it was
pieces
the
detailing
year
Cohn's
before.
rise.
But
Still,
some of
great.
the highlights,
More, from Wall Street Journal,
which now is of course more than 3
Donald
times its
Trump's
current
first
silver
meeting
grade.
with Gary Cohn in late
Here
November.
we can
and he
see that
appeared
Cannington's
so
average
impressed
silver
with the
ore grade
then
declined from
president of Goldman Sachs
636
Group Inc.
that
grams
he
per
joked
ton in
about
2000
offering him
the
the
year 2000
post
to a
of Treasury
low
Secretary.
of 255
Said a person
in
who recalled the
2016.
moment. During its
Sitting
peak
nearby
year
was
in
the
2005,
odds
Cannington
on
produced
favorite
44
of the
million
job,
ounces,
Mr.
at an average ore grade of 515
got
grams
the
per
nod.
ton. This one single mine produced
on
more
Friday,
than half
Senators
a
Elizabeth
billion
Warren and Tammy
ounces of
Baldwin
silver
sent a letter to Mr.
since the year
Blankenstein,
2000.
CEO of Goldman now,
Even
asking
though
whether
production has
Goldman
continued
officials
to
have been in
decline at
contact with
Cannington,
Mr. Cohn
it was still the
or
largest
other
primary silver mine
Goldman
in
alumni
2015.
in the White House, and whether the firm expects to benefit
This is a
from
table from
changes
Silver
to
Institute
financial
shows the Cannington
regulation
mine ranked in the
Mr.
second
Cohn
in
is
2015
pushing
behind
through
Polymetal's
orders.
Ducat mine in Russia.
Now,
However,
the
revised
answer would be yeah. If
data,
we're gonna have a
gotta love
big tax
boy,
breaks,
do I
big
love
corporate
revised
tax
data.
breaks coming back, or not even back, coming to
data
America.
shows that the Cannington mine actually
First time maybe
produced
ever. I don't know if we've ever had low
22.6
tax
million
rates
of
for
silver in 2015,
corporate tax
not
rates.
22.2. Whatever.
The answer is yes, and she wants them to
So
say
when the
yes. So
Silver
the
Institute
Institute can then
publishes
say,
their updated primary silver mine
so
data
again,
for
this is
2016,
an
they will
inside
put
deal.
Cannington in the
You're
number one spot for 2015.
you're using your power inside
That being said,
the
Cannington
Treasury
will fall
to give
to
yourself
the number 2
make it,
spot in
good deal.
2016.
Well, no, not necessarily. Even though they certainly
when all the data
benefits
is
would do that
finally
in a heartbeat.
released.
This is a
again, you're always
blanket
just a
tax
year behind.
deal for everybody
The-
in
as
America,
far as
every
data
company
goes.
in America.
According to the data
So
released
naturally
by the
they would
mining
have to say
companies
yes.
here,
Of course,
the
the tax
production revolt
what kind of question is that?
for
Tax rates are
2016.
outrageous now. If they come down, are we going to benefit? Of course we are. We're a corporation listed in America. In numerous states, as a matter of fact,
South
yeah,
23's
of course.
Cannington mine 21.4.
So again, that's nonsense. The whole Democratic thing with these
Polymetal's
idiots,
Ducat is 19.3
that's
million
nonsense.
ounces.
That's don't even pay attention to that.
Regardless, to see silver production
spokesman
fall
for Goldman said it
27%
had no
at the
involvement in
Cannington
drafting
mine
executive orders.
is quite amazing
In an
when we
interview
know
before the
its
executive
tremendous
orders were signed,
production
Mr.
history.
Cohn said the administration's
South
goal of
23 states that
deregulating
the
financial markets
Cannington mine
has
will
nothing to do
extract
with
higher
Goldman
grade
Sachs,
silver ores in the
but was
second half of the
focused
year.
on maintaining the nation's
But
dominant
production
position in global banking
is estimated to only reach 19 million ounces.
And
for
if
the
you
year.
believe that,
When the U.S. and global oil production starts to
Goldman
decline
Sachs
in a big way,
has a nice
silver
production
production
will feel
10-year-old
CDO
Why?
squared
Because
in
byproduct silver
pristine
supply from
shape.
copper, zinc, and lead
Zero hedge.
Production will
have to
fall
agree with it,
precipitously
Are
as
they
base
really
metal
concerned?
demand plummets during the next
Maybe.
financial and economic crisis.
if you have the
best time to
vampire
invest in
squids,
silver is before supply evaporates,
people
or
working
before
in the
its
highest
price and
positions
value
of
heads towards
the
Jupiter.
financial side of our government,
Check back
Treasury,
for more news articles at the SRS report. So I guess that's
They would
maybe he's
easily-
the one that actually wrote this
'cause
article.
what do I always say? It's not the king; it's the king's
You know, I
advisors.
covered a lot of what
always
that guy
has
says,
been,
a lot
and
of
it's
his
always
blog.
been that way forever, and it will remain.
So this is
that
one
way.
company, and again, we expect
The
higher
king
grades
himself
later.
doesn't know everything about everything.
As a company
right?
with shareholders,
He may know a little.
that's kind of something
about
you're
things.
honestly you're going
He
to
doesn't
say
know everything
no matter who
he
you
needs
are.
to know
Oh
about
no, we'll be
everything.
fine. It's just a little blip.
I got my trusty advisors.
Good
If the
report coming
trusty
out. Trust us,
Advisors
we got
are Goldman Sachs vampires,
And then unexpectedly,
They're going to be
revision,
advising
double
him
revision,
for
unexpectedly,
the ultimate agenda. One,
and you're hit with
world
other bad
currency.
news.
I do.
So my
believe
question
that
is, how many of these
Economist
other
magazine cover
mining companies, some of
something
the large players,
to
anyways,
it.
have
And
experienced anything even kind
again,
of
with the
similar,
recent
whether for the
conversation
same
with
reason
Trump
or other
and
reasons? In other words, just a
President of
reduction
China
in the
Prime
last
Minister
year,
of Japan,
or 2015 to 2016, or will be from
They've come to
2016
agreement. He said
2017 when we see what happens
something
this year.
sooner than anyone.
While
thinks.
simultaneously, silver demand as precious
And
metals
yet
are
didn't
concerned,
say what this was.
they're doing fantastic.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Going up and up and up.
What
over
is
the last few
exactly
years,
it
several
that
years.
we're going to be seeing sooner than
And
anyone
we're
thinks?
finding new little inventions and things coming out that are using silver.
That's the question. And I think the
Again,
answer
this is a
just might
recipe
be
for supply problems for
some
the
kind of
demand
new
issue.
currency we all get on board.
That's
with.
why you want to
So we
have
can't
it
fight
first.
each
That's what I've
other,
been talking about for
devalue
so
there,
freaking
devalue
long.
here.
Years.
We all use the
And it
same
just goes to
currency.
show you that all these years I've been talking about it, I've been talking
Backed by
about things
precious
like
metal,
this.
You know, whatever.
You can't just keep producing
I'm
stuff at the
speculating,
same
but I'm
trying
trying to
rate
connect
when
some dots.
stuff gets
And
harder
it's
to
hard to
mine,
connect
it's
them
deeper, the ore grades,
when you
there's all
are
these things out
outside
there.
of the room, and you can't
And
even
it
hear
can't just
really
sit there
what's
and stay
going
at the
on
same
inside
value
room.
either.
You can kind of see
So I think
mumbles
this
every
is a
now and then, so to
recipe
speak, and then kind of guess what was
for
happening.
disaster for
but
some
there are
people,
subtle little things. Sometimes they
and
say
an
something.
epic
Trump has
win
said a few
for
subtle
others.
things,
And those
that
others
are
are
making me
people
think
holding
that
these
this
metals.
may be a go time.
I know I've been talking about for many years.
To start taking shape. Doesn't
And I'm
mean
telling
it
you
may
now,
be
if I found some
in
kind of
existence
data,
and being used in 2018,
if I found
we
some
may
kind of
get to a
data,
point where we actually do have
and
currency
really-
wars and all these
I'd
things,
have to
we feel
really
about
look
the
at it
pain,
because what I'm about to tell you about this so-called data,
then they
if it
come
ever
out and say, well,
existed.
see, this is.
We stumbled on it, and it made me say, "Oh my goodness!"
They devalued, then we devalued, then they devalued, then
I
now
think
they're
we might
devalued.
actually be wrong
Guys,
now
yeah,
for
the
X, Y, Z,
understand.
whatever reason.
We got to
I
have
think
a
we might be
one
wrong now.
currency.
Oh, crap.
None of these countries, we all agree to it.
I'm
Fair
not
for
going to
everybody.
keep that a secret.
And again,
liquidate my
anyone
silver
feeling
and not tell
pain,
you
financial
guys.
pain, is going to say, just make the pain
Not to
stop.
save my reputation or not.
Just
No.
make the pain stop. I'll do anything you say.
I came out
One
with
world
Bitcoin
currency.
blank fiend.
Let me send a letter to someone that I think was robbing banks.
Kuss.
I'm sure they are, but I don't have the proof yet.
Infections
Sir, are you
caused
robbing
by
these
a
banks?
type of staph
Any of your people?
bacteria
Why, no, madam.
that has become
We're not doing it.
resistant
I don't know what you're talking
to
about.
the antibiotics
Okay, so,
used
like, what are
to
you
treat
doing?
ordinary staph infections.
You idiot. What are you
the
doing?
rise of MRSA
Freaking
infections
Elizabeth Warren.
is
You
limiting
idiot.
the treatment and options
Where was your letter to Goldman and Jamie Dimon,
for physicians and surgeons.
JP
Now an
Morgan.
international team of
When Obama was in
researchers led
office,
by
2008.
Elizabeth Loboa,
when he's
dean of the
his
University
claim to
of
fame
Missouri
of coming
College
in the
of
office,
Engineering
he's going to clean up
has
Wall
used
Street. Go
silver
look at
ion-coated
his campaign
scaffolds
promises. They're still
or
on YouTube.
biomaterials that
He
are
said
created
everything
to
right.
hold
It's
stem
why I'm not even
cells,
shocked, kind
which
of,
slow the
that people
spread
voted for him.
of
He
or
said it all
kill
right, but he's one of
MRSA
those guys, like most of them,
while regenerating new
do
bone.
the opposite.
Scientists feel
we got
that
him in 2012
the
again. Another 4
biodegradable
years.
and biocompatible
Miss Warren.
scaffolds could be
Where was the letter
the first
then?
step in the fight against MRSA.
Why didn't you
in
send the letter
patients.
then?
Now,
the
first
same
of all,
people were running
silver.
Treasury. As a matter of fact, Goldman Sachs was in
long
charge
ago,
of
years
Baldwin.
ago,
And the other by
I had a
little
website
Twitter.
that I used to run. It was
the
a
club.
short-lived kind of a thing. It lasted
When
about
TARP
6
funds
months.
came out, and I thought, and then the
I can
QE1
make my
came
own
out.
colloidal
Quantitative
silver,
easing too.
bottle it
QE3,
up, and sell it
etc.
online.
Where was the letter?
For disclaimer for animal
No letter.
or non
Now we're just
whatever use only.
Pissed off we lost, so
Whatever.
we're going to do anything we can to make a scene.
And I had a couple people
All
buy
that,
some from
one
it
thing
at the
working
time, but
against him
I started
is
realizing
the
it's
overdue
kinda not
realization by
the
the
headache
new president that
box
his cabinet
shipping, all this
openly
crap. It's just-
appears to have been
This
created
was
and
years ago.
staffed by
Nonetheless,
populism,
I made it
arch
myself.
nemesis, or arch
And
nemesis.
these are happening every day.
They'll be advising
and
him
think about
tooth
this
and nail
Right now, they're only concerned with these
on
types
how to
of
join this
specific
one
surgeries or
currency
whatever.
system.
Trump has already come
other
out,
doctors
as I said,
have realized
any
any
type
type of similar surgery.
Just talked
Matter
to
of
the
fact,
Chinese
any
president,
surgery going
Japanese
forward, we're just
president.
going to use this. This stops.
We understand the issues with
basically
bacterial
fighting each other and
infections.
devaluation. Sending someone home with
we want to level the
antibiotics.
playing
We're just going
field,
to wrap
we
this
agree,
area
yada, yada.
with some of this gauze and Band-Aid or whatever.
We all have to join the same currency
have a nice
block,
day.
so none of us
So
can
just
manipulate it,
imagine,
can devalue it.
even though it's
Then that
tiny
will
amounts
level
and all
the
these little
playing field,
bandages,
because then it's simply who's
and we're
brokers
just
are
talking the
willing to
United States
cheapest
right now.
for the same
Other countries, this could be a
valued
normal
dollar.
thing.
Again,
Now,
granted,
huge demand
I'm
for
here to
silver
tell you,
in the
China would
future,
still win that
potentially.
battle.
And then we have the other things to talk
no
about.
different
The
than what we see in
windscreens,
America a
windshields
lot
on
of times.
cars.
Mexicans
They're
will
going to
come
start
across
putting them
the
on
border,
cars now.
usually
Because it
illegally.
has great anti-reflective capabilities.
They'll gather up in a house,
helps
and they'll
with
take the little side
defogging
jobs,
the window,
not paying very
easily
much,
in the
it's under
morning
the
or
table
whatever.
work.
Lot of stuff.
And
then we have the
they all
Sun
pitch
Cell
in.
from that company out of New
So
Jersey.
essentially, they can afford
I don't know how much
decent house,
silver it
decent
uses
size house if they
right
want
now.
to.
I
They
have
don't.
not been able to
They
find the
form some-
information on how much it uses,
they
other than
get
it
inside of
uses
just a
silver.
normal home
and
house.
It liquefies
Nothing
it, basically
fancy.
makes it molten.
They split the bills. They
And
do
I don't know
everything.
how much. But
So
nothing
you have
just stay that way forever, right? It's going to use
let's
them
just
to
say
have
3
families
families.
at some point. So there's all these things kind of in the
Women,
works. You can see
cooking, cleaning, whatever they're doing, and all the
and
men
then
are
the
out
bad
working.
news is
That's a far cry
production
from
has
what we
plunged.
normally do. Excuse me, in
So,
America.
article from SilverSeek.com.
My house, my one family. I'm
February
the man,
9th,
head of the household in this
2017. This
case.
is
You know, I
new.
make all the money. My wife
Production
goes home. In my case,
plunged
she's
at the world's largest primary
homeschooled as
silver
well.
mine. So, you know, it's a typical
The
American
largest primary
thing where
silver
the
mine
man
in the world
bought
expects
number
to
one, pure
Goldman
silver,
Sachs.
flat little strips.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I was going to say
0.999 fine silver.
JP Morgan's a close second,
With the
though.
two
okay?
electrodes on each end.
Besides
DC
Stephen
voltage of
Mnuchin,
approximately 32, 33
Trump's
volts.
pick for Treasury
in DC.
Secretary, former Goldman
And
officials
you just let it
working
run.
for the new
And I had a
administration
little
include
parts
former
per million
President
tester, and I got
Gary
down to
Cohn,
figuring out
now director
roughly
of the
how
National
long it
Economic
needs to
Council,
run
Stephen
to
Bannon,
produce,
the
10 parts per million,
chief
20
White
parts
House
per million, 30
strategist,
parts per
and
million.
Dina Powell,
I've used it here.
formerly the bank's
one of
head
my-
of
matter of fact,
philanthropic investment.
Today, which is
Well, who would have thought
the
they
day
had
before
such
you're
a moment?
watching this.
Who's an assistant
Going
to
to
the
the
president and senior
movies with my
counselor
kid,
for economic
daddy-daughter
initiatives.
day. For
So
every now
just
and then we
like
do
Goldman
that. One
would
of my kids out
staff
of the
every
three of them.
central bank's core positions prior to Trump,
One of them
after
ones
the U.S.
wants to come
election,
with us to the
the
movies
world's most influential
and see this movie, but
investment
she says,
bank
no, it's just me
has
and you,
shifted
it's
all
not
of
you.
its
And
attention
I understand
to
sometimes you just
one
need
person.
that one-on-one.
And he is
So,
finally starting to
We'll
realize
do something with my other kid.
that may
So,
not be such a good thing.
She, when she was very young, I
Too
used
many
a picture of
Goldman
her eyes, 'cause
guys
she had
already
this,
have
she
high
used
up
to get
positions in the Trump
this thing in her
administration,
eye. She had
the
to have that
person
little
said.
surgery where they open up,
And that could
Like the-
knock Mr.
something in
Donovan
here,
down to one of
because
the
she'd wake up with
undersecretary
absolute
positions,
goop
possibly
in her eye, like it was
undersecretary
like
of the
glued
Treasury
shut. It
for
was
domestic
huge.
finance.
Ultimately, she ended up getting this little
The
surgery done,
presence,
and she was like
Several
really little.
former Goldman officials
as in like
at the
maybe
highest
2 years
reaches
old.
of the administration,
And I'm
runs
like, well,
counter to the
We've
president's
got some of my
regular
stuff.
attacks
Let's-
on Wall Street
the
firms during the
Gold
campaign.
silver. Let's just I got
Donald
the
Trump's
eyedropper thing,
argument
just
for America.
Put it in her eye.
A
Why would she
2-minute
went to bed?
advertisement
'Cause she'd
that
been doing
ran
it day
in
after
prime
day, so
time
it was
days
coming up
before
like
the
that every
election
morning.
featured Goldman
I
chief
put that in
executive
there,
officer
couple
Lloyd
drops, whatever.
Blankfein in a
And right
segment
after that, the
about
next day,
corporate
when she woke
chieftains
up,
pocketing the wealth
it
of
was
American
clear.
workers.
Her eye, and I had a before and
I'm
after
sure
picture
he
that I put on
knows.
the website. Hey,
You
this
know,
is just
hands-on
treated my kid's eye
experiment,
infection.
experience there.
You know.
Having
But
reneged
the
on
point being,
this
you can
core
drink the
populist
stuff. Now, you
angle
don't
of
go
his
crazy
campaign,
drinking. I know everyone's heard
opening
about that
himself
guy
up
whose
to
skin turned
Democratic
gray and all
attacks
that
over the
garbage.
extensive presence of Goldman bankers in his team. Now the
So
White
is
House seems
the guy-
sensitive to
I had
the
to pause
issue
it
and
for a
is
second.
taking it into
People kept
consideration,
whispering. Guys,
as
go
it
upstairs.
attempts
Don't stand
to
in front of me and
fall
whisper.
or
Mike
fill
might pick it up.
remaining
Just
top
go upstairs and
posts.
whisper or something.
Really?
So
Donovan, whose
we all heard this
time
time
at Goldman overlapped with
Mnuchin. Gray
Mnuchin,
skin. And all that. The guy was
most
drinking
recently
like
was
he
a managing
freaking,
director
like
at
an
the bank's
alcoholic.
private wealth management division, and has
I've-
been at Goldman
I've drank this
Goldman
stuff
since
before, other people have.
1993. He would be subject
Putting
to
in
Senate
again, this little
confirmation,
silver
of course.
ion-coated stuff
At
that
Treasury,
can stay
Donovan would
biodegradable,
join the
just,
effort
kind of,
to
again, it
execute
goes inside
the
like those little
extensive
stitches,
economic
the
policy
sutures,
agenda
whatever.
that
they
the
just
new administration
biodegrade
has
inside
promised.
just fine. Same
So,
thing. The amount of silver is probably minute.
Going
I'm
back
sure.
to my last video,
But I've seen
I talked
studies
about the
years ago
1988
actually
cover
of the
that put
Economist magazine
antibiotics
giant
up against
gold,
gold,
silver,
pulling
silver
around
water.
the neck of the phoenix,
And nothing
rising
could
from
stand-
ashes of burning dollars,
could hold a
paper dollars,
candle
and on the coin,
next to a cooler
2018
silver.
headline cover, talking bacterial
get
stuff,
get ready
not
for
viruses,
for a
bacteria.
world currency.
So
2018.
This is again like a
stamped coin.
They'd wrap it or whatever in this material, and it would just slowly biodegrade over
Is
time
there a
inside
few
your body, and it's fine.
Goldman
It's
guys
no
at the
issue.
very top of the
amount of
government
silver, again,
specifically,
I'm sure it's minute.
so that we can move
Well,
forward?
you're talking about the
with that
healthcare
plan from
industry.
30
How many
years ago.
surgeries of silver
He knows what
has
he's doing
plunged pretty
for a specific
significantly?
reason.
It looks
They
like
will not
around
control him.
27%.
And if he has to fire some people, let some people
From
go.
which
he's
mine?
going to.
The world's
We've already seen
largest
that. We've already seen other guys.
primary
It's
silver
conflict of
mine.
interest. I'm going to go ahead and step down.
Production has plunged.
So this is
Interesting,
kind of
isn't it?
odd. Zero hedge again. And I'm going to start with this other. There are too many Goldman guys
article.
on his team.
It's actually from Missouri.
2 days after Democratic
.edu.
Senators Elizabeth Warren and Tammy
This is kind of
Baldwin sent a letter to
medical
Goldman
article,
CEO Lloyd Blankfein,
but it relates to
asking
silver.
if Goldman effectively
Quick look
runs
surprise.
the country.
There's
to its
another
extensive
item that needs
alumni
silver.
links
That
may
may
be
be
coming
Trump
online full
administration.
steam ahead, and requesting
Something like
details
this,
on
I could
lobbying
see
activities
where it
in
would
the
branch
bank
out
related to
as far as its
review
uses goes.
of the Dodd-Frank Act and the
For
Obama
stopping
era
certain types of
fiduciary
bacterial
rule
infections
on
and things after people who have
financial
surgery, things
advice,
like that.
as well
So,
as asking for any
this is not some
communication
old article.
between the bank's employees
Story
and
contacts
Mr. Cohn,
Jeff
Newton,
Salzman at
nominee
Salzman J at
for the Securities and Exchange Commission, Chair Jay Clayton,
silver
and Chief
ion
Strategist
coated
Steve Bannon. Bloomberg reported
medical
overnight that
devices.
yet another Goldman banker,
could fight MRSA.
Jim Donovan, was
while
under
creating
consideration
new
for the number
bone.
2 spot.
There's
at
a
the
problem
Treasury
when they have
Department.
certain types of surgeries.
However, it appears
on
he
people.
has got
and
one big
you risk getting this
thing working against him.
MRSA, which is
Now I got to stop for a
or
second because
my wife's correcting me. Just call it MRSA.
it's known as MRSA.
So now
MRSA,
but it's
Elizabeth
MRSA,
Warren and Tammy Baldwin,
which is
have decided
methicillin resistant
Let's send a letter to
staphylococcus
CEO